Yeah, it's my beautiful side.
It's okay, it looks like you're crying.
I'm always crying. Just cut my wrist after that. That was awful. Alright, continue. Sorry.
It's cool, man. It's cool. We've all been there.
Yeah. I think every day there's a moment where you kind of have to prove yourself. It doesn't matter what it is. But I think for me in particular, I have to prove myself in many ways, and it's not to other people's. Like sometimes I have to prove myself to my own self-being. Like I have to tell myself, you know, you're good enough. You're gonna be able to be okay. And it's proving yourself to yourself every day. That you're good enough to get up in the morning, and that you're good enough to continue on with your day. Because I mean, if people didn't prove themselves to their own self-being, then we'd all just kill ourselves. Because at that point, we're worthless. I have the clap. Take one. My name is Colby Jackson. I'm 19 years old, and I'm an artist. I am from Orange County, and then I moved to a city called Moorpark, California. It was kind of like being lost, but at the same time, it was like a new beginning. So you like look forward to new things, but they're not always kind of what you wanted them to be.
So you're 7, going to a new school.
Little old me had my sick ass backpack on, and I walked into class, and I remember that, that kind of moment where you're like late and every single person like shifts their eyes over to you. Imagine being on time and that happening every day. If I think back to like what the beginning of my 3rd grade was, it was a lot of sitting by myself, but I was an outcast. That's kind of how it was. The talent show in itself, it happened every year, but I kind of used it as like my ticket in. 3rd grade, I got up there, and it was kind of like the moment that I just opened my mouth that the whole room went silent. And like not silent to where I was like amusing, but it was almost like really stale. But in a good way. Like I was able to grab an entire audience's attention. That moment of actually singing and doing something well was that moment where everything could for once feel normal. I learned that, okay, cool, in the 3rd grade, I had to prove myself by singing. Now in the 6th grade, I'm finding that I had to do it again, and I went back to being that new kid that didn't know anything. I'm now in a new environment with a lot older people. Like, sure, I had made a few friends, but now kids are starting to be mean, and they're starting to learn, and they're starting to just kind of get that bully mentality. It wasn't a walk in the park at all. There was one time I remember in high school, it was my sophomore year, because I was still at Moorpark High School, and I got thrown into a set of lockers. I was picked up by my backpack straps and thrown against a pavilion locker, and I was on the floor, and I had someone spit on me and tell me that I was worthless, and that I was fat, and I think the other word they used was faggot. And then when I went to the school and I tried to talk to them, the one thing I was told was there are no cameras in that area, and we can't prove that those events happened. Yet, the bruises on my body weren't enough. The pain, the sorrow, the dent in the fucking locker, that's still there. No one cared. They didn't want to help. They didn't want to get involved. But I think that moment is probably one that stands out the most, just because I think that's that kind of moment where it's like no one really wanted to help. No one really wanted to be there. And I didn't have enough energy in myself to prove myself anymore. And I just kind of accepted it, and I moved on. I think that life would be entirely different if I hadn't moved. But I don't think I would be as strong and motivated as I am today. I think that phrase, haters will be my motivators, that the young kids throw out, is true. Like, I am 100% motivated by hate. And, I'm not gonna mess it up this time, but my favorite quote of all time is, "Success is the best form of revenge."